All right, it's time to enter some notes, and I'm going to enter the oboe 1. So I'm going to do it with simple entry. I'm going to get into the measure by control clicking. That will prevent me actually adding a note. My first note is a quarter note tied to an eighth note, and it happens to be a B flat. So I'm going to press 5 on my number pad. That's going to change my cursor to a quarter note. And I'm going to move my cursor up, and then I can do this. I can type B. That enters a B. Now I'm going to enter type the minus on my number pad, and that's going to lower it a half step to make it a B flat. I'm going to type the T key in the keyboard, and that will initiate a tie. Then I'm going to type the 4 for eighth note and enter B again. Okay, now it's tied to a flat, so it will stay flat. I need an eighth rest, so I've already got the eighth note. I'll type 0. And then I need a half rest, so I'll type 6 to get the half note and the 0 for the rest. I need another half rest, a quarter rest, so type 5 and hit the 0. And now I need triplet eighth notes. So what you do with triplets is you can do two things. You can type the 4 to start the eighth note. Go ahead and enter that first eighth note, A flat. Then do Control, it's either Control 9 or Alt 9. It's Alt 9. That will do the tuplet entry. Now it will come up current duration, and we need 3 eighth notes in the space of 2 eighth notes, and that's what we want. So go ahead and click that. And we need another A flat and another A flat. Now, I think you can just hit enter, and it will enter those A flats. You don't have to type the A. I'm going to switch to a quarter note for an F, so I type 5. And I'm just going to type F on my keyboard, and it will enter the closest F. Whoops! Now look what happened. Because I have triplets selected in my simple tool palette, it started this quarter note off as a quarter note triplet. I don't want that. So I'm going to hit delete, and then I'm going to actually double tap the 5, and that will get rid of that tuplet selection. I'll go back here and I'll type F. You can see I have the rest selected because it's magenta. If I type F, it will give me the F that I want. Now I need triplet eighth notes, so I'll type 4 for the eighth note, F for the eighth note, Alt 9 for the tuplet. Okay. I'll hit enter again. And now it looks like it's not going to keep my tuplet. Let's see what happens if I enter F, because I need an F eighth note and an eighth rest. Yep, did it right that time. And now we got, so these are 30-second notes. That is the 2. Look for the 3 beams. And we have A, B minus for the flat, C, D minus for the flat, E minus for the flat, F, G, A, and now we're in the next measure and we need a whole note B flat. I'll type the B and the minus for the flat. Now that's going to tie across, but I'm done with that page. Okay, so I'll hit escape twice to get out of that measure. Okay, so now I have this oboe part. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Okay, looks good. I need to copy that into the oboe 2 part. I'm going to copy that by choosing the selection tool. That's the arrow. I'm going to click this first measure. I'm going to come over here to the last measure, and I'm going to shift click. That will select all of that. Then I'm going to copy, edit, copy. You can also use the Control-C shortcut key. I'm going to click into the oboe 2 measure where I want to copy it, and I'm going to select edit, paste. All right, so far so good. You could also do the Control V for paste. But I'm looking at the oboe part, and I've got some different pitches that I need. It's not exactly those pitches, but it is exactly those rhythms. So I've saved myself some time. I'm going to go back to my simple entry tool, select the repitch tool. That's the whole note with the arrows up and down from it. I'm going to start on this first note. I'm going to control click on it to get it. And then I'm going to type, I'm going to move my, I can just move it down because I need it to be, what do I need it to be? I need it to be a B flat. So that was an octave. I'm going to move that one down too, just like that. And then when I get here, I can type E. Whoops, oh, zounds. It needed to be this E flat. So you can just, I'm just using the arrow key there. I would really prefer to type the E, but it looks like my cursor is way up there. There we go. You see this line, and there's a little blank note right there. That's where the cursor is currently. It's going to enter the note closest to that cursor. So I need some more E flats. Ooh, I don't think those are flats. Minus, 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 minus. Now I think since I already had the accidental, I won't have to do the flat again. And joy of joys, the scale run is the same, so I don't have to change any of that. Well, now I'm going to go into the clarinet 1 part. So again, to copy this material, let's see, I wonder what I should, I'm going to guess I need to copy the oboe 2 part. No, well, I'm not sure. I'll copy the oboe 1 part. Selection tool, click the first measure, shift click to the last measure. I'm going to hit Control C for copy, click into the clarinet 1, Control V to paste. And look at that, shazow. That note, which in the original was a B flat, came in as a C. Why did it do that? Because Finale's pretty smart. The oboe is a concert pitch instrument. It sees what it plays. The clarinet is a B flat instrument. It plays down a major second from what it sees. So it took the concert pitch from the oboe and made sure it would still be the same concert pitch in the clarinet part. So now all I have to do is repitch some of these eighth note triplets. I'll go to my simple entry tool. I still have repitch selected. I'll control click there. And what I need is a C. A regular old C. 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 Now, see where my cursor is? It should enter the B real close to it, but I do need to add the flat because it's in the score. And then C. Whoops. Should be a C natural, right? C, 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 and look, this scale is correct. B, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, F, G, A, B, C. Yeah, that's correct. Again, that's because these are in unison pretty much. And so the concert pitch here was copied as concert pitch there. Okay. In the clarinet 2 part, I just need this initial measure, and it doesn't have that but it does have the scale run. So I can actually selectively copy certain things. I'll copy this whole measure, Control C, Control paste, and then I'll select just that much of the clarinet 1, Control copy, Control paste. Now it may bump it to the beginning of the measure. It does. Control Z, undo. So what I need to do is do that again, and I have to use a special trick. That special trick is Control click. control-click copies. And if you copy in the right part of the measure, boop, it will put it in the right part of the measure. So I had to click right underneath that fourth beat so it would add it to the correct place. But now as I'm looking at it, the scale is a little bit wrong in that it's an octave too high. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to use a utility to transpose it down an octave. So I go Utility, Transpose, down an octave. Okay. Yada. How about that? See, I've already powered through oboe, clarinet 1 and 2. Bass clarinet's pretty easy. I just got to do this first measure. I'm already in my arrow tool. I'll control click. I'll repitch. Control click. And this needs to be... Oh, it's already correct. How about them apples? And nothing left in that measure. All right. I am looking at this now, and I see from my score that this clarinet part and the flute and oboe part are the same, homorhythmic at least. They don't have these triplets in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and click my selection tool. Select the, oh, I need to change. Okay, I got to show you this. This note here should be a whole note, and it's not. How do I change it? I'm in my speedy entry tool. I'm going to control click on that note, and what I need to do is change the duration. You change the duration by pressing the Alt key and the number pad that coincides with your desired length. What we want is a whole note, which is a 7. So I'm going to push Alt and 7. Come on now, you can do it. Alt 7. I might have to erase this first, delete, and now Alt 7. That's what I needed to do. Let me back up so you can see that again. You can see what's selected because it's purple, it's magenta. So I had to come over here. It wouldn't let me add a whole note there because then I'd have 6 beats in the measure. So I had to move over with my arrow key to select that half rest. I press the delete key to get rid of it. Now I'm back to the half note, then I need to be a whole note, and I press the Alt 7. Okay, now I'm ready to move that into the flute part. Kabang, kabang. I'm going to do my control click. And it looks like the piccolo is the same. So I'm going to have to do some repitching. That's okay. I expected that. Repitch tool from the simple entry. I'll select this way too high B flat. Actually, one of those is correct. How about them apples? So the piccolo is right all the way across, so that's good. The flute 1 and 2 are not quite right yet. Now flute 1 is going to be the high note, so it's correct. What I need to do is to paste that into a new layer and make it the lower B flat. So not repitching. So I'm coming down here to my layer tool, my layer entry. I'm going to select the second layer. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to copy. I'm going to select all this. And I'm actually going to copy the contents of layer 1 into layer 2. There's a special entry for that. It's called Move Copy Layers. All right. So I'm going to select Move Copy Layers. And what I want to do is actually to copy the contents of layer 1 into layer 2. That's exactly what I want to do. And say, OK. That's going to give me 2 different layers. Now here's the tricky bit. And it may take me a moment to figure this out, but you're going to watch me do it so you can figure stuff out on your own. There is a way where I can select just the notes from layer 2. Let's see. Is it... I think it's in this Use Filter and Edit Filter. So Edit Filter. Notes. No, that's okay. There is a setting. I know there is a setting. So I'm going to have to Google that. It's not a defeat. So I'm going to say something like select only layer 2 in Finale. And see what I get. There's move copy layers. Show active layer only. Deleting only one layer's content. I think this is what I want. Show active layer only. Finale, sometimes it's desirable to copy only the material from one layer. Aha, that's exactly what I want. However, while you can use settings, edit, filter, control which elements are copied, all filter apply to all visible layers. But Finale has a very powerful feature hidden in the document menu, show active layer only. Remember, you don't have to remember to use this feature. If you don't see it, it won't get copied. Okay? All you have to remember, if you don't see it, it won't get copied. So, we need to do this show active layer only. That appears to be in the document setting. So, document, show active layer only. Right there it is. Oh, we found it. Okay, so now we're in layer 1. But let's look and see what happens if we are in layer 2. Everything disappeared except for the layer 2 of the flute, which we just copied. Now, this is correct over here. This is where the layer 2 needs to be. This is the one that's wrong. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to Utility, Transpose, down an octave. Okay, and we're good. So now I want to do the same thing, but I'm going to take these notes in layer 1, and I'm going to move them up an octave. So I have to go back to layer 1. So if I can see it, I can edit it. So there we have those notes selected. And I'm going to Utilities, Transpose, up an octave. Okay, bam. All right, now I'm going to deselect that, show active layer only. Shazam, I got it right. Okay, so we learned something. We learned show active layer only can help you transpose just layer 1. Now remember, because there's a flute 1 and 2 here, even though it just says flute, we're putting all of the flute 1 parts in layer 1. We're putting all of the flute 2 parts in layer 2. That will help us when it comes time to edit parts. All right, I think that's good for this video. I'm going to bring my keyboard from home so that I can plug into the MIDI and do some of this a little bit quicker. But I'm having a good time. This is really fun for me. So I hope you enjoy it too. I will see you in class at a very quick date. Bye-bye now.